Deleuze's concept of desire draws from various philosophers, including Kant, Marx, Nietzsche, Spinoza, Freud, and Lacan. He historicizes desire, which is crucial to understanding its function. Kant defines desire as the faculty that causes representations to become actual objects. He differentiates practical reason, concerned with making objects real, from pure reason, concerned with knowing objects. Kant explains that desire, when transformed into the can intervene in reality, making the rational individual a free causal agent. However, Kant relies on transcendent ideas like God, the soul, and the world to establish a causal relation between desire and reality, a departure from Deleuze's perspective. Deleuze reconciles desire and reality without invoking transcendent ideas, drawing from Spinoza, Nietzsche, and Marx. Spinoza's concept of conatus suggests a will striving to realize itself immanently, while Nietzsche's will to power erases the distinction between desire and will, allowing desire to become a creative force. Marx's concept of species being highlights humans' ability to envision and produce objects in reality. Combining these ideas, Deleuze defines desire as the production of reality. Unlike Kant, who distinguishes between pathological and moral aspects of desire, Deleuze's concept encompasses both creative and productive elements. He argues that social representation separates desire from reality, creating a sense of lack or need despite desire's inherent productivity. Social order imposes needs derived from desire, leading individuals to believe they lack something that desire originally produced. Deleuze and Guattari introduce the distinction between desiring production and social production to account for the historical variability of the desire-social order relation. They argue that social production is essentially desiring production under specific conditions. Despite their identical nature, they functioned under different regimes, with capitalism emphasizing this difference the most. Under capitalism, desire and labor get categorized as libido and labor power respectively, creating an objective illusion. Marx, labor power becomes the essence of wealth under capitalism as it is stripped of previous determinations and commodified. Similarly, Freud's concept of libido abstracts desire into a subjective essence shaped by the privatization of reproduction in the nuclear family. Deleuze and Guattari argue that capitalism privatizes reproduction, isolating it in the nuclear family and shaping desire within strict social rules. The family structure mirrors the hierarchy of capitalist production, programming individuals to and defer gratification. This Oedipal structure produces obedient subjects perfectly suited for capitalist exploitation. The isolation of production and reproduction from broader social relations makes labor power and libido abstract and indeterminate. Like Marx challenged labor's subordination to capital, Deleuze and Guattari aim to free libido from the constraints of the nuclear family and the Oedipus complex. Both projects seek to liberate productive activity from external determinations, representing a unified capitalist alienation. In Anti-Oedipus, Deleuze and Guattari propose that desire's radical indeterminacy is central to their concept of universal history. They term this free state of desiring production schizophrenia, acknowledging that while desire operates under specific societal constraints, capitalism uniquely fosters a decoding process that liberates desire from social norms. This decoding occurs due to the market's qualification of value, which contrasts with previous social forms that employed coding to assign qualitative value to objects and behaviors. Capitalism's struggle between decoding and recoding shapes the body without organs, a concept borrowed by Antonin Artaud. The body without organs represents desire's potential for freedom, serving as both a locus of social imposition and a site of desire's resistance to determination. While earlier societies used body without organs to impose codes on desire, capitalism tends to unleash free-form desire, leading to widespread schizophrenia. Deleuze and Guattari suggest that only with capitalism does the body without organ fully manifest as a site of freedom, indicating the potential for a post-capitalist future where social production aligns with desiring production. They emphasize the importance of desiring production in evaluating historical forms of social production, drawing on Kant's idea of immanent criteria to critique capitalist society and the role of psychoanalysis within it. They argue that the unconscious operates according to constitutive synthesis, which must align with the free play of desire or else be deemed metaphysical. Deleuze and Guattari argue that psychoanalysis, being a product of capitalist society, serves to reinforce the existing capitalist social order. They assert that the Oedipus complex reflects the privatization of reproduction within the nuclear family and the delegation of certain recoding. These functions, necessary for social cohesion, are excluded from the broader social field due to the privatization of production and the market's decoding of social relations. Deleuze and Guattari advocate for both psychoanalysis and capitalist social relations to conform to the synthesis of the unconscious. They view desiring production as a revolutionary force for social critique and propose transforming psychoanalysis into schizoanalysis. According to them, society should align with the logic of unconscious synthesis or risk being labeled repressive. They suggest that the future of universal history hinges on legitimizing the use of unconscious synthesis over illegitimate ones, allowing schizophrenic desiring production to shape social production instead of being shaped by it. However, this conception of universal history is subject to irony in A Thousand Plateaus, the second volume of the Capitalism and Schizophrenia project. The non-linear dating of the Plateaus contrasts with the linear approach of the first volume, reflecting a shift in focus from the historical to geographical concerns. Globalization and lateral differences become more important than linear progress. Despite this shift, the concept of the body without organs remains central to Deleuze and Guattari's analysis of desire. In subsequent collaborations with body without organs is referred as a plane of consistency and serves as a site of desire's exploration and experimentation. The focus shifts from diagnosis or therapy to technique with an emphasis on the dangers of desire becoming fixed or chaotic. Desire is seen as opposed to both gratification and repression, aiming instead to maintain an indefinite investment in the body without organs and explore new modes of existence. Deleuze and Guattari identify desire as a key force alongside other difference engines like capitalism, evolution, and expression. These engines drive differentiation by creating diversity and distinctiveness. In capitalism, for instance, the market divides labor and consumption, generating surplus value. In evolution, genetic mutations create variations which natural selection then shapes into distinct organisms and species. In expression, the endless interplay of science creates diverse meanings which are then structured and captured by habits, codes, and representations. Desire, as experienced on the body without organs, tends to favor differentiation over consolidation or capture. It disrupts the organization of living organisms, liberates productive activity from external control in capitalism, and promotes variation in the realm of expression. Deleuze constructs a concept of desire that integrates ideas of free will, creativity, and productivity with reality, as seen in the notion of species being.